Just as it is for personal finances, it also follows that for a business or startup to thrive it must save. Saving here entails figuring out ways to limit costs as much as possible. In running a business or startup there are ways you can use to save money. These are strategies that can apply to any business or startup with some tweaks here and here. With these strategies you can successfully start and scale with limited stress on your finances. Free services and outsourcing. There are a lot of things you need to run a business or startup. These can be consultancy services, legal services, bookkeeping services, and the like. Typically you would have to pay for such services. However, what many do not stop to realize is that they're free services for these. You can access for free via leveraging on business mentors or advisors. Some of the things you can do yourself by simply getting templates for free online. There are also a number of people or entities who can offer needed services for free. Seek to explore such free services first before parting with money paying for such services. Outsourcing is also a good money-saving strategy. This is because outsourcing is usually cheaper than hiring in-house staff. When you hire in-house staff, you might then need offices plus other obligations such health cover, taxes, and the like. I have also noticed work produced via outsourcing tends to be way better than in-house. This is because the one being outsourced from will be endeavoring to make a lasting impression. This in a way actually contributes to money saving as you might not need to repeatedly work on the same thing. Non-monetary remuneration. It is usually the case that human resources eat into the biggest chunk of a business or startup's finances. In order to address that, you can consider ways through which you can pay your staff without money. For example, you can consider offering them equity. This helps in putting off or postponing the pressure on your finances. Paying equity is one example, but there are countless ways you can use for non-monetary remuneration. This also reminds me of commission-based remuneration. Though it does entail monetary remuneration, but it is premised on what someone actually brings in. Barter trade. It might sound funny, but you can actually barter trade stuff. You might want something from a particular service provider. Let us suppose you run a web development service. There can be a number of service providers from which you tend to buy stuff. It might be possible that some of them do not have websites. You could offer to barter trade your services in exchange for what you want. This can save you lots of money if implemented well. This framework can be explored for many scenarios. Try it out. Whilst here, we can also take this a step further into negotiation of payment terms with suppliers. Remember, the goal is to save or at least defer pressure on finances, so you can consider requesting or negotiating for extended payments. 3 money-saving strategies you can use in running a startup or business. These can be particularly pivotal during the early stages when you are starting out. They can also be instrumental during times when you want to either scale or pivot the business or startup. There are so many ways you can structure these strategies for your own context.